right, thanks everyone. We have TCU head coach Mark Campbell following tonight's victory over UCF. We're going to start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we will open the room for some questions.
Well, first of all, I am just beyond proud of this group of kids. The injury bug has hit our team hard, and this group tonight showed their resilience, showed their character. We're down a lot of pieces, and this group fought for 40 minutes. I think it's as good a 40-minute fight as we've had all season. Got a really balanced attack, but we just found a way. It wasn't pretty, but we found a way, and that's the DNA of our team. And I'm just really, really happy with everything that's going on. That the kids they've showed up every day and worked really, really hard, and they kept chipping away at this thing. And so I'm glad that they got rewarded. I'm glad our staff got rewarded.
How special was this win for you?
It's hard to put into words, to be honest. In my career, I've never had an injury situation like this over a rough 2-week stretch. And in some ways, you look back on your career of the blessing of how fragile being healthy is. And I've got to be a part of some really good teams. And those teams stayed healthy. And it just shows how quickly a season can turn. But these youngsters, man, that's why you never underestimate young people. We have a roster full of kids that love the game of basketball, that work incredibly hard. And when it was their time and their number got called, they stepped up.
You guys got off to a really quick start in this game. Do you think, with what's going on in the last couple of weeks, just being able to be back on the court, they just kind of had a little bit of extra energy come in? I
mean, gosh dang, that's got to be one of our highest scoring quarters of the season. And the truth is, we put in a new offense. We scrapped kind of our pick and roll. We went to a 5-out motion. I've never coached 5-out motion. And so we've had a whole bunch of late nights as a staff studying, trying to figure out what we can instill in a couple-day window that complements the group that's playing in their skill set and their talents and their gifts. And to hang 27, that was the first time we went live against someone else running the 5-out motion. And so to hang 27 in that quarter was special. And it set the tone and it carried us to the win.
Can you talk about the character of this team to not hang their heads despite all the adversity they face and go out there and put a performance like that out?
Yeah, there's incredible leadership. And I've said that from the get-go. I mean, we're a brand new staff. You're a brand new team with 14 new kids. And I've said it from the get-go. There's amazing leadership on this team. Some of those kids are injured right now and they're out. They've still showed they've been at every practice. They've been at every workout. You saw Jaden Owens coaching up Vic during the game. And Agnes is the backbone. And I've said this all season long. Agnes is the backbone of our team. Her leadership, her toughness, and she's been in a whole bunch of big games. It's just the most selfless, elite competitor. And she was out there, and she was the heart and soul of us tonight.
Coach, there were no walk-ons on the roster at the beginning of the year. As the injuries started to chip away, when did you start having the conversation that there might need to be some additional bodies added to the roster?
Yeah, I mean, this thing unfolded rapidly. It wasn't like a slow progression of this, but we have never, any team I've been on has not had walk-ons. It's just something that, again, you look back and you just understand how fortunate you are sometimes with the health. And so, I'm going to take this back to 2010. We took over at Oregon State and we had open tryouts in August because we had one scholarship player. So there was one other time we had to field the team via tryouts. But it went, the numbers shrunk really quick to where that was the only there was no other option, is we got to hold open tryouts and see what the turnout is. And you guys, the turnout was incredible. The spirit of the student body, these girls that came to tryouts, we had 2 different days, 6 o'clock in the evening. These young ladies that showed up poured their hearts and souls into that tryout. And it's not like they're in basketball shape. It's not like they're been practicing. You know, they just came from class and put on their sneakers. I mean, there was one young lady, I remember she said she got her hoop shoes overnight delivered. And so it was really neat. It was refreshing to see how lucky we are at the college level to do what we do. You got to witness, 50 young people. This is like a dream come true to have an opportunity to be a part of a college basketball team and the spirit that they played with. And then these 4 young ladies that we ended up selecting, they literally said, Coach, whatever we need to do to help the team, let us know. But there's an onboarding process. It's not as simple. You can just go get some walk-ons. Like there's many layers to it. And you can't speed the process of it. There's an onboarding process that compliance and eligibility, NCAA stuff that you got to work through. There's a big onboarding process with the medical side of stuff and all the testing and the clearance that has to be done before anybody. Now, normally your athletes do it in the summertime, and so there's a period there. And then the academic piece, they didn't build their class schedules around our practice when they set it. And so when you first added them, there wasn't a kid that could even come to practice. They had class. And so there's just this massive checklist to even get them to where they can show up to practice with you. And so it's been a village. It's been neat to see what TCU stands for, how the student body and the community has rallied around this group. In some ways, we're like America's team right now. Just been decimated by the injury bug. You have open tryouts mid-year. We haven't played 5-on-5, and you show up and you get a Big 12 win. It's an amazing story, and our staff has been incredible. And the young ladies, they have showed up every day and just handled their business and just kept chipping away. And so it's been a special, hard 2 weeks.
Well, we haven't talked to you since the tryouts. And I'd heard at Oregon State you had a couple of interesting candidates come out, including maybe a mother or something.
Yeah.
But anything interesting that showed up that, were they all pretty legit candidates that showed up?
So 2 different stories. At Oregon State, it's in August. So you truly held an open tryout, front page of Oregonian. So people flew in from all over the country for the tryout. Here, because it's mid-year, your only chance to even get someone to get through the checklist, they have to be a current student and enrolled. So that shrinks the population that you get a pull from.
So
Yeah,
when
what's
do
it
you
mean
expect those before? I know Sylvester got in the game for there at the end of the third just for a couple minutes. Do you anticipate them getting an opportunity to contribute and play here in the next couple of games?
Oh, it's all hands on deck with our season. They're ready. I mean, we literally did a walkthrough with them because they don't know a block. They don't know an out of bounds. They don't know a sideline out of bounds. They don't know we're covering just a hedge on a pick and roll. Like you are at ground zero with these kids. And so they had an hour shoot around this morning before our hour shoot around. They're trying to just learn our shooting drill so we can do stuff. So there's a problem, but they're suiting up because we need numbers. And obviously we've been hit by the injury bug. Hopefully no more happen. But they're this far away from full tilt. Get in there and let's rock and roll.
How cool was it that TC had a couple state champions and another 1,500 point scorer just kind of walking around kids on play?
I mean, that's incredible. But the reality is, and that's we're one of the smaller Power 5 schools in the country. I think us and Wake Forest are 2 of the smallest student bodies at the Power 5 level. I mean, imagine some of the big schools probably got some serious talent just walking around. But it was really neat to see these kids that they have a high IQ. They have a great competitive spirit. We got to get them in shape. Hopefully we can get their class schedule so they can practice with us. But there's kids that played and they love the game of basketball and they're all in to help. And so we're excited to work with them.
Mark, you address the leadership part of it. Sorry. You address the leadership part of the players that you got. When you look at the end of that bench and see that group of talent that you have sitting at the end of the bench, you have to catch yourself sometimes going, wow, what you missed? Or do you try not to focus on that?
Yeah, it's. I mean, I got to coach that group for 14 games. And that group is one of the best teams in college basketball. And they proved that. And but reality is you can't live in the past. We got games that we got to prepare for. We got kids that we got to coach right here, right now. Our job is to make the best of the hand you get dealt. And gosh dang it, that's life. And you're going to have adversity and curveballs that you didn't see coming in life. And so this is great for young people to see. You still show up, you roll your sleeves up, and you get to work. And you can't put your head down. And that's something our staff and team has done a phenomenal job of. And we're going to slowly get kids back. And our job is to keep getting this group better so that as we keep adding pieces, we're a better basketball club as we get healthy.
Coach,
what's
you
in
also
the-
added Sarah Sylvester from volleyball. What were those conversations like with Coach Williams as that transition happened?
Coach Williams has been an unbelievable advocate of TCU athletics. I think that's a snapshot into what the family environment that's at TCU athletics. Well, at this level, it's a cutthroat business that you got to win. And for him to be fully supportive, he even came to the tryouts. And he gave Sarah 2 thumbs up to go. And Sarah literally just said, how can I help? That was the first thing when I met her, is say, how can I help you guys? And so the TCU is a special place. And you're getting to see it as adversity hit, everybody's rallied. And so what Coach has done is really, really cool. And me and him got to sit down and just talk shop, and he was so supportive. And obviously he had a situation, I could mess this up, 2 years ago where they had a game against Texas. I think that their team got rocked. And so he understands what we're going through, and he's just been awesome. I'm very thankful for him.
You know,
Coach,
Coach,
you mentioned in the past how this team has not been through true adversity. Now that they've gone through what they've gone through these last 2 weeks, what do you have to say about TCU women's basketball and their grade?
Yeah, we've had enough adversity. We went from none to we've got our fair share. But that's as you build a culture, adversity is always going to hit, and you don't know when. And we had a great run going where things were we were smooth sailing. But adversity is always going to hit, athletically and in life. And so you try to prepare these young people to manage it and to handle it right. And this group has done that. And it's evident with the 3 leading scorers out, and to come do what this group did, and they did it together, and they fought and they clawed and they found a way. And so it shows we got a special locker room, you guys, and we've known that.
Coach, does this kind of invigorate you as a coach, accepting and bringing this challenge on?
Yeah, it does. You pour your heart and soul into this thing, and the kids pour their heart and soul into this thing. And you don't always get rewarded in life for your hard work. And so when you do, man, it's refreshing. I mean, this has been a really challenging time. Building a program without all this adversity is hard. Taking over where this program was, and to kind of take off like a rocket ship and go where we went that quickly, and then you had adversity hit and you're back down and you're kind of at rock bottom trying to figure this thing out. And it does invigorate you to see the spirit of these kids. The crowd was incredible. This community came out and supported this team, and to get a win, man, it's incredible.
Going back to the last few minutes of the game tonight, you had 3 players in the game with 4 fouls each, and they didn't give up a basket, I think, in the last 4 minutes of the contest. Just talk about the determination to finish strong when you're already short-handed like that.
I mean, no doubt. Aaliyah Robertson has never played the middle of our zone, period, until the 4th quarter today. I mean, talk about just winging it. I called to our zone, and Aaliyah looked over like this. And so, but it's the spirit. They found a way to get stops when the game mattered. They found a way to slow down Caitlin, who's one heck of a basketball player. And teams in our league have really struggled to slow her down. But when it mattered, with 4 minutes to go in the game, we found ways to get stops. We found ways to get buckets. And so that's, gosh dang, we got a special group of kids.
You mentioned Aaliyah Roberson, and last couple games that she's been in, it feels like she's kind of just getting better and better and better. Talk about what she did tonight.
Aaliyah is, and we've talked about this, just scratching the surface of who she's going to become as a basketball player. She's still figuring out her true talents and gifts. And she has this massive ceiling, and she's just learning and growing into that thing. And Aaliyah's a winner. She comes from an incredible basketball family. The brothers and sisters that played at the highest level. And so she's a competitor. She's a winner. She just makes basketball plays that impact winning. And she's done that all season for us, but now she has a much bigger role. And today she was awesome.
Talk about Vic and how much she's grown up and being thrusted into a position like this, especially coming off an ACL.
I mean, Vic's coming off 2 ACLs. I mean, she's a kid that had 2 ACLs in high school, playing behind Jaden Owens, who's one of the best point guards in college basketball. She's had a small role because of Jaden, and Jaden is elite. But Jaden, you guys don't get to see this part of Jaden Owens. Behind the scenes, from day one, she has poured into Victoria and invested in her. And it paid off tonight. And you saw Jaden Owens grabbing her during the huddles and talking to her. And so Vic, as a true freshman, to come out and play 34 minutes in a Big 12 game and lead us. And she had some turnovers, but that kid believes in herself at a high level. And she kept coming back, and she never put her head down, and she found a way. That kid got a huge steal in a transition layup in the fourth quarter down the home stretch. It really gave us some breathing room.
I mean, you talk about Sydney here, coming back, working back from an ankle. She really kept you on the game there in the third quarter, not to allow UCF to extend their lead.
Sydney Harris is an absolute bucket getter. I mean, she finds a way to put the ball in the hole at a high level. And she's working her way back. She was injured for 8 weeks. I don't even know how much time she missed. And so she's working out the kinks, and she hasn't had a big role. She gave us 21 minutes and 25 seconds of important basketball, and they went zone, and Sid got loose. That kid can really, really shoot it, and she believes in herself and her shooting ability. And so she kind of busted that zone single-handedly.
You talk a little bit more about Agnes. She's the backbone of the team. Been a rough shooting stretch there until the very end of the game. Whenever you needed her most, make key free throws and a key layup there at the end. Just talk a little bit more about her.
I mean, Agnes, you guys, she hasn't shot by numbers that well from the free throw line, but there was a technical. I didn't even hesitate. There's one kid I want at that free throw line that if we're going to win or lose, I'm rolling with that kid. She stuck those two, and in the fourth quarter, felt like a football game where they were doing the delay game. Ice the punter. It felt like they were icing her at the free throw line. And Agnes stepped up and buried those two. But you guys, she lives in the gym. She's the last one to leave the gym. But I'm going to win and lose with that kid.
Final questions for Coach?
This one's behind you now. You go to Texas Tech this weekend, and then obviously the rest of the Big 12 slate ahead of you. How do you carry this momentum and this energy forward, knowing that this is going to be your situation for at least the next week or so?
Oh, yeah, it's our situation for a while. You prepare just like these young people have prepared. You show up tomorrow and you do your job. And you handle tomorrow, and you do it with a great focus and a great energy. And we'll do film, and you just walk through. You just don't skip steps. And they haven't skipped steps this whole year. And even during adversity, this group showed up and locked in. The staff showed up and locked in. And so as we prepare for Texas Tech, it will be no different as our preparation here. And obviously winning on the road's hard. It's hard in the Big 12. It's hard in any league. And so your margin for error shrinks when you're on the road. But this was a great game for us, for these young people to get some belief in themselves, that they can do it, that we can do it. And so excited for the next game. I'm going to enjoy this one, you guys. And tomorrow I'm turning the page.
All right, thanks everyone. The players are ready.
You guys, thanks for coming out.
Okay, we have Sarah Sylvester, Agnes Eminoku, and Aaliyah Roberson following tonight's win over UCF. Questions for these three?
Sarah, for you, whenever you checked in there at the end of the third quarter, what was that like for you, just hearing that ovation from the crowd?
It's just kind of an unreal feeling. You never expect those types of things. A whole arena erupts for something like for you, and I'm like so grateful for that. I wasn't expecting it at all. So it's just such a special moment for me to hold on to for the rest of my career in life.
Agnes,
Agnes.
after all this happened in these last couple of weeks, what did tonight mean to the way this team came together?
I think for us, it was just wanting to come out there and play hard for those who couldn't play. So I think we just wanted to stick together. Like the word we had on the board before in pregame was fearless. So we just wanted to be fearless. Yeah.
Talia, what has the message been from your teammates who have been injured? They were obviously all on the bench tonight, cheering you guys on, coaching you during your timeouts. What has their support been like?
They're just always gonna be there for us, no matter if they're on the court or not. They're very supportive. They're telling us just go out there and have fun. There's no pressure on our backs, and we're just gonna go out there and do what we know what to do or know what to do.
And then for you, 17 points tonight, 8 of 10 shooting. How are you feeling about kind of your new expanded role down low?
Just taking it one game at a time. I get a lot of good passes and good looks from my teammates, and just them opening up the court for me. And yeah.
Agnes, what's it been like for you guys kind of just adjusting to new people and new players on the court, knowing it's going to be different moving forward?
MC always says like the journey of the season, like there's gonna be injuries. Obviously, probably not to this capacity usually. So I think just for us, like we're playing small ball, so just having 5 people on the court who are all shooting threats, scoring threats. I think just being able to have that mindset, like you gotta go out there and make a play. Yeah.
Sarah, for you, when was the last time you played an organized basketball game, and how much have you played between all the volleyball lately?
The last time I played was 2 years ago in high school, so it's definitely been a long time since I've been up and down on a court. But just throughout this past couple days, since over the weekend, early or late last week, I've been with the team, getting touches, kind of getting back acclimated to the flow of the game and passing cut and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a little tricky getting back into the flow of things, but everyone's great and super supportive with it, so they're making it easy for me.
Did you have any anticipation of playing basketball when you came to college, or did you ever consider it?
No, I was recruited when I was younger to play basketball in college, but I kind of just had a change of heart, like during high school to play volleyball, and I just thought that was something I wanted to pursue more, and so I thought I was giving up for the rest of my life. So it's just a really exciting opportunity for me to be able to help that out. No, you're good.
For you, what's it mean to you to have such a supportive head coach in Jason Williams, who's been 100% behind you, making this move over to basketball for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I don't think that's something that everyone's head coach should be super supportive of, and he's just 100% full in, like for the team, for the community, for the school, like whatever it is, and he's just been so encouraging, so supportive, and he's just been like such a great right hand on this, and it made the decision super easy just to come in and help everyone out. So yeah, I could not be more thankful for his support.
Sarah, can you walk us through just like the timeline of the last week or so? You're at volleyball workouts, and then you hear this opportunity. Just walk us through that.
Yeah, so I got back to campus last week, just started training with the team again. And then I think it was Wednesday or Thursday rolled around, and they announced open tryouts during one of our practices. And so I came back to locker room after practice, and I saw it on my phone, and I was like, well, everyone was just kind of like, Sarah, you should try out. Like, everyone knew I played in high school. So everyone was like, you should try out. It was just kind of a joke at first, but I brought it up to my head coach, and he was kind of like, yeah, sure, like we can see about it. But then kind of throughout the night, it kind of developed more seriously into like actually thinking about it. And then I reached out to Jesse and kind of got the ball rolling and came to tryouts and was in communication with the staff. So
why did you want to do that? Like, you just wanted to help out your fellow
Horned
Frogs? Just kind of like walk us through like your just emotions of trying to do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, Horned Frog family is so special and so important. So any opportunity I could have to help any other team, I would take in a heartbeat. But basketball was just super special to me and a love for me growing up. So just kind of being able to reopen that opportunity, I thought I couldn't miss out on it.
Agnes and Aaliyah, what does that mean to you two to hear that from Sarah, that she was willing to step up and help you guys continue your season?
Mm-hmm. I guess as someone coming like new into the Frog family, it just shows how much of like a community it is, that everyone wants to support and help each other, and like seeing that other sports want to step up and like be part of like what we're building here is awesome.
Well, I would say one of the main reasons why I came here is because the community is so tight knit. And just hearing that is very heartwarming, and it just shows how much of a great school TCU is.
Agnes, can you talk about the atmosphere here tonight. You know, you talk about the community. It was a great crowd. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, the fans are always awesome. Like, I love playing in front of the Frog fans. They rallied around us, even though, like, obviously they probably wanted to see the last 2 games that we had canceled, but for them to, like, show up and, like, be supportive, like, having the standing ovation for Sarah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome.
Agnes, now that you guys have gotten through this game and you got to win, you got a Big 12 win. I know you got to go on the road, but talk about trying to move forward now that you've kind of gotten back on track and knowing that you got games to play, you might get some people back eventually.
Exactly. I think it's just the opportunity for everybody to grow. Like, we have freshmen who probably didn't play as much, like, early in the season. They have a huge opportunity to step up and, like, develop their game. And then I think introducing pieces that we know are coming back later in the season, I think it'll just be, like, very beneficial for us.
Wanted to ask Agnes about Victoria specifically. She had a layup opportunity for the lead, didn't go. She had a 3 for the lead, didn't go, but then came up with a steal and the score. What do you think that meant to her? What did it mean to the team to see her have that success?
Yeah, I think that Victoria is such a young player, like, not putting her head down in opportunities like that. Like we mentioned at halftime, I think she was sort of worried about how she was playing. We told her, like, Vic, like, you gotta be fearless. Like, we don't care about the mistakes. Like, this is the opportunity to grow. And I think for her to continue to, like, I guess, attack the basket after she'd missed that layup and then, like, missed the 3, it was really big.
Coach Campbell mentioned when he was in here just now that y'all completely changed offensive systems in the last few days. What has that been like on top of everything else, learning essentially a completely new system on that side of the court?
I feel like we've just been taking it day by day, trusting our coaches and trusting in our abilities to just work with this offense that we have, and I feel like it's working pretty good. We gotta work out a few kinks, but other than that, I feel like it'll be good for us.
Yeah, I guess exactly everything Lily said. Like, we dry around the offense like a lot in practice. I guess being able to see what it looked like. Obviously, there are kinks to work out, but Chavi, all the other coaches put a lot of effort into finding something that we can play within this week.
The first quarter, you guys scored 27 points. It just felt like you guys had a lot of energy. Were you just excited to be back on the court? Kind of what was it like for you guys going into the game?
I would say, yeah, it's like it kind of reminded me of like whenever you can't sleep at night because the first day of school is coming up. Just those past 2 games, I felt like kicked in for everybody that we can't take playing a game for granted. And I felt like everybody just had the energy to just be like, all right, we can go out there and show everybody what we got.
Everything was yeah.
Agnes, for Leah, with this adversity that this squad is facing, does it kind of get y'all's competitive juices flowing even more to be out there?
Yeah, I think we come into every game now like as the underdog, so I think it puts there's not really much pressure on us to go out there, but like we know what we can do. So I think coming in there with that underdog mentality, that's what this has caused.
Anything else for these 3?
Leah, let me ask you this. You guys got off to a 14-0 start. You were ranked, and I know there's been some adversity. What does it tell you about what this program is capable of doing?
MC always says we have a bunch of soldiers, and I feel like that's what he recruits, and that's what he instills in us. And we're just going to go out there and battle. And it doesn't matter who the opponent is, what we're going through. We're just going to show our abilities and come together as a team and just work hard.
Hopefully they don't, but if volleyball needs you next year, are you going to step up?
All right, thanks everyone.
Thank you guys. Thanks.